channel after news channel after news channel. Ever wonder why they report the same news? This is Wake Up America.
Brought to you by Citizen Stringer.
The media has become absolute lunacy. What makes us different? We just tell the truth. Daily headlines, politics, social issues, focusing on headlines that the mainstream media ignores. Conservative to the core and honest, sometimes to a fault. Unapologetically American. Welcome to Wake Up America with your host, Stephen Oatley.
Well, how you guys doing? Huh? Anyway, this is live, 5:47 on the East Coast. Today is Thursday, April 28th. And this show is called Wake Up America. I'm your host, Steve Oatley. I'm pretty incredible, if you ask me. I haven't done I've been covering this Brad Pitt. I keep calling him Brad Pitt. This Johnny Depp trial for this whole week, essentially, and it's kicking my butt. Really? Because then I have to just stay glued to the computer and make sure I get switches. You'll see many of you guys that are watching on Citizen Stringer. If you're in the F It I'm Done live stream channel, you're doing great. If you're in the other channel, and if some of you guys that are in the correct channel on our streaming channel will go to the incorrect channel and tell them that this is where the show is, that'd be super helpful, because I know I'm going to get a bunch of emails later that's like, I tried to watch you and it wasn't working. And unfortunately, fortunately, Pizza and Tilly comes live where I see it's frozen. Actually, Pizza and Tilly is getting his stream going now. So you'll see his placeholder, but he has that 6 o'clock hour. I've already got to cut into a show tomorrow for the coverage of the Trump rally, so I'm not going to do it today. It's part of running a business. I want him to be able to do his show as well. So even though we're kind of competing with each other in terms of time, he has that 6 o'clock hour on Citizen Stringer, which is on Citizen Stringer 24/7 channel, which is why I'm over here, because I didn't want to wait till 8 o'clock to do a show, and I couldn't start earlier because, we were covering this trial. This show is sponsored by Spartan Armor Systems. Spartan Armor Systems is a Tucson, Arizona-based body armor manufacturer. They make some of the best body armor you've ever seen. I don't know where the hell it is. I have it somewhere in here. But some of the best body armor. They got hats, they got shirts, they got all sorts of stuff as well. Check them out, SpartanArmorSystems.com. And if you use code YEET, that is YEET, you get 5% off your order. I mean, that's a hell of a deal. So go check them out. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, and one of the reasons why I wanted to go live, is this morning we didn't watch the trial, and instead we watched congressional hearings related to the border. So they had the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who was testifying in front of the House Committee on the Judiciary, I think is what it was. I don't remember. But it was an oversight committee. So basically, this is where they provide, or is supposed to provide, oversight into what's happening at the border. Mayorkas was supposed to report about how they're keeping the border safe and secure and all that. And instead, what we saw was theater. And I know that word has been used a lot today, and it was used by the Democrats to describe what was going on with the Republicans that were questioning Mayorkas. They were directly challenging his shittiness at dealing with the border crisis. We all know we have a border crisis, okay? Democrats know it. They could be oblivious to it and try to deflect to white supremacy and all the same radical shit that they always try to do. But the fact is we have a crisis at our border, and that's why you see a lot of Democrats now turning. Now, instead of them, pretending like there isn't a crisis at the border because the general public knows there's a crisis at the border, they're starting to be a little bit more aggressive with their handling or with their words, I guess is the easiest way to say it. And, the biggest example is Senator Hassan, I believe Senator, Congresswoman, I don't remember, from New Hampshire, right? She's a Democrat. People in New Hampshire, I don't even know how she got voted in, to be honest, but people in New Hampshire typically, and I used to live there, people in New Hampshire are typically, pretty conservative. And so she has now switched, and she's going hard on the fact that the Biden administration has to reverse Title 42 and all that stuff, because all these migrants that are crossing the border, we're going to have a big issue. But here's some of the things that I thought were just a couple of the talking points from today's hearing that maybe people, if you're on Twitter and shit, you probably saw the videos, but if you're not on Twitter, you probably don't understand. It started off, thank you, Tricky Trixie, for subscribing on Twitch. It started off with a bunch of Democrats and Republicans. Jim Jordan went hard. Yeah, like, I got to give that guy some, whatever, a pat on the back for him actually doing his job for once. And just so everyone's clear, I no longer identify as a conservative. I identify as a rational American. I don't believe a single person that's representing anybody in office currently right now is doing a good enough job, whether you're Republican or Democrat. I don't think, because in my opinion, and this, like, if I ran for Congress or if I was in Senate, I'd be holding press conferences every single day. The media would hate me because I'd be talking too much, because I'd be calling out everything, every single thing, every single inaction that's being taken place every single day there. That's what I'd be focusing on. Oh, and Ben Klein. Ben Klein is a congressperson from my district in Virginia. And again, he's refusing, just pretending like I don't even exist and refusing to come on the show. I directly tweeted, this guy doesn't even get like retweets or a lot of comments. So I know he's seeing it. I've sent his press people emails to try to have him come on my show because, again, I want to know who I'm voting for. He's in my district. He is my congressman, and the guy refuses to come on the show. So what I would like a lot of you guys to do today is find Representative Ben Klein from Virginia, and he's a congressperson. Find him on Twitter and say, go on the Wake Up America show with Steve Oatley and tag me in it. I would appreciate it if everyone did it, everyone that has a Twitter account, because I want to know who he is. I want to know who I'm voting for. I want to know what he's going to do. And here's the thing. When you look up his name and try to find out what his policies are and what, he's not in the news. We don't need Congress people and senators that are not in the news. We want them in the news. We want people to be paying attention to what they're doing or not doing in office. And that's one of the major issues that I have, and the fact that apparently people are afraid to come on my show. Maybe it's because I'm not the greatest interview and I tend to attack the guests when they lie to me, but whatever, that is what it is. So let's go back to this hearing. So this hearing this morning was interesting, and I knew it was going to, because I watched the highlights from the hearing yesterday where Mayorkas testified in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and so I kind of knew he was going to give the same idiot things. You know what I mean? I knew he was going to do the same things that someone said, Steve, you can't vote for a Democrat. Ben Klein's a conservative. So whatever. And if you don't tweet, go on Facebook, tag his Facebook page, send him a message, say, come on the show, come on the show. I want him on the show. I may have Christopher Christopherson or Christian, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. We had him on last October in 2020 when he was running for Congress, and from Oregon. And I think he sent me an email saying he wants to come on the show. So I may have him on next week. He's now running against Ron Wyden, Senator Wyden from Oregon. And he has a good chance, especially if Oregonians are actually tired of, being stupid. He did win 40% of the vote, I believe, in his congressional race with 162,000 votes. So for a conservative to pull that in Oregon, that's pretty good. So his primary is coming up in like 15 days. May 22nd, I think, is their primary. So I don't know. I don't know when the primaries are, but they're happening soon. Anyway, back to this hearing. This hearing this morning was exactly what I thought it would be. It was theater. That's all it is. Mayorkas is not I'll take this back. He is a very skilled non-answerer, which isn't a word, and I know, but he didn't give any answers at all to virtually any question, or when he was asked to address question, he's like, well, I'm going to answer first, or I'm going to answer, but first I'd like to go on a long diatribe about nothing that has no relevance at all. So you forget that when I do answer you, you're not going to know that I answered you, and I'm just going to waste your 5 minutes. And that's what ended up happening today. Is for 3.5 hours, Mayorkas sat up there and didn't answer any questions. Here's what we learned. Mayorkas thinks he's doing a good job at the border, and they are doing they're achieving their mission in Mayorkas' eyes. What's happening at the border right now, as Jim Jordan said, is all according to plan. This is exactly the strategy that they have implemented. This is what's going on. Now, we heard about Democrats, who passed this bill to give 20,000 more Border Patrol agents back in 2016 or 17, and Republicans under McCarthy stomped that bill out and said, no, we're not going to provide additional funding for Border Patrol. And I don't know anything about that bill, but I know what politicians do is some shady shit because they don't actually vote on a bill. What they do is they charge it full of amendments, which typically are amendments that people will disagree with. And that's exactly what probably happened in this bill. I'm talking out my ass right now. I have no idea because I don't even know what bill. But I know their plan to deal with the border right now is to add 500 troops, 500 more Border Patrol agents to the 16,000 Border Patrol agents that are already assigned to a southern border, and that's somehow going to be able to stop a 200% increase in border crossings that are estimated to start beginning as soon as Title 42 is stomped out, whenever that is, in May or whenever, because now they're going to process it Title 8 under Title 8, which, as some of the Senate or some of the Congress people today pointed out, is they're breaking the law, and the Mayorkas is like, we're following the law, and everyone else is like, no, you're not, because you're essentially paroling people that shouldn't even be here. They just went back and forth forever. Mayorkas refused to give actual answers. The Republicans tried to challenge him on that. And then as soon as the Republicans' time ended, they were quick to shut him off immediately. As soon as that countdown went, boom, time's up, reclaim my time, blah, blah, blah. All the same stuff they do in politics, which is super annoying. And then what did they do? Then the Democrats would burn their 5 minutes talking about how Trump is awful and how the Trump wall never was built and and all this stuff, and just keeps going nutty, and nobody does anything. That's the thing that's crazy. All these Congress people today that spoke, nothing is done. I can understand the Republicans yesterday held a bunch of press conferences, even one late last night, where they were talking about Title 42 and they're talking about the crisis at the border, and they're doing this. And sure, you do it once, you talk about it. You do a grandstand photo op down at the border every single day. And what do you do? What's more? I would be plaguing. I would have my media, for example, if I was in Congress, right? Or Senate, I would have whoever I've hired to run my media, I would have them calling every single podcast, every single news show, every single news channel, everywhere. And I'd be like, listen, you got to have me on. You got to have me on. You got to have me on. I'll try not to curse. You got to have me on. And that's what I'd be doing. And if I couldn't do it, I'd be announcing press conferences myself. I'd be like, hey, I'm going to get a new tattoo. It's going to say, fuck Mayorkas or something like that across my chest. Whatever you have to do to get the media's attention so they actually talk about what's going on. Because the reason why we have these failures, the reason why we have a failure at the border, the reason why we have, opioid crisis, the reason why we have all these things is because not enough attention is actually being put on them. The Republicans can talk about the border crisis, but then if you turn on the liberal news channels, they're not talking about it. What they're talking about is how Trumpism and MAGA this and MAGA that, and that's what they're doing. When Biden talks about, our GDP is down to 1.2% because he doesn't even understand the numbers. It's not down to 1.2%. It dropped 1.2%, which is not a good thing. If our GDP drops, that means our gross national product dropped, which means we're not making enough money, which is really bad when our inflation is at, a 40-year high. And our wholesale retail rate is at a lifetime high. These people, these politicians, as much as I criticize them all the time, it sucks to say this. The only politician that I see that has any backbone, and there are a couple, and I'm probably leaving them out. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the only one, and she's had everything stripped, all her committees stripped, everything. She is the only one that seems to give a fuck about our country. I'll be honest with you. She is. She may be a loop-de-loop, believe in weird shit, frogs, Alex Jones bullshit. I don't care. She is the only one that seems to anyone see the video of her with CNN's Acosta today? Acosta tries to accost, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and he's like, oh, let's talk about this text message you sent. And she's like, why? You're not going to do it. You're not going to actually talk about the text message. And he's like, let's talk about the text message. She's like, do you even know what the text message has said? He's like, well, I believe it says something about, doing martial law. And she's like, do you know what the whole text message says? And she stops him straight in his tracks and says, if you want to talk to me about it, fine. Look up what the whole text message says. Because what we've heard is the media is just putting out this whole thing that she had conversations with President Trump about instituting martial law because they're reading a segment of a text message. They're not reading the whole thing where she says, I don't know what people were talking to him about. Everyone, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, you got to admit, she today held the fire, or held the Acosta's feet to the fire and made him read that whole text message. And he tried to skip over. He tried to stop after that initial quote. And she's like, no, keep reading. And then he read it. And then he's like, well, but. And she's like, see, that is the problem. And that is the problem with media. That is the problem, is because they're pushing one agenda. You're not going to see that interview. What they'll do is they'll take that clip of her doing it and saying, I'm not going to talk to you. You're worthless, or whatever she said to him. And that is going to be the clip that CNN runs, not the fact that she was holding them to account, because they're lying. And so it's kind of hard, because what do? I sit here criticizing the conservatives and the Republicans and Democrats for not coming out and speaking honestly about what's going on, because you have conservatives that are only pushing one political agenda all the time if they choose to actually speak up. Thank you, Leah, LGA, I can't see. It's a Super Yeet $20 one on Citizen Stringer. Thank you so much for that. But the thing that pisses me off the most is Republicans are, like, right now, everyone's pushing the border crisis stuff. So everyone is talking about it because it is such a huge national security, international security. It's a huge issue that everybody should be paying attention. It should be 24/7. The fact that we had 202,000 people cross in 1 month, that is more than we've ever had. 202,000 people cross the United States border seeking asylum in 1 month. That's not including the 40 or 50,000 people that didn't get caught, that deliberately were coming in, the ones carrying the drugs and smuggling, and the criminals and the terrorists. That's another thing that came out in today's meeting. I forgot who it was. I think it was still Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan was questioning Mayorkas on the 42 people that have been apprehended or captured at the border that were on the terrorism watch alert with the United States government. The 42 known. So we already know, based on the numbers from the Customs and Border Patrol, we already know that if 42 people that were on the terrorism alert were apprehended trying to cross into the United States, there is a great probability, based on CBC, the Homeland Security's own numbers, that 10 or more people have crossed into the United States and didn't get caught that could have potentially been on that border watch, the terrorism watch list. And the reason why we say that number is, it's actually more. It's probably 18 or 20 people that it didn't get caught based on those numbers, because the Homeland Security released a report a couple of years ago saying about 40% of the people that cross, or about 40% of the total captured people. So you got to figure, if you have 200,000 people that cross, 40% is what, 80,000 people? That means 80,000 people are getting into the United States, and they are not even getting captured. They're just coming. It's like, do not collect, go, do not stop by Border Patrol, keep on going, and you're free here in America. And then we don't deport them, because Mayorkas said that now just simply being here illegally is not a deportable offense, which, see, unilaterally he makes that decision, which doesn't make any sense, because, well, if you're here illegally, you're committing a crime. You know what I mean? That's like me, speeding, getting pulled over and say, well, you know what? I could speed because I decided. It's similar. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Or me saying I could go punch someone in the face because I felt like punching them in the face, and that I shouldn't be held accountable because I felt like doing it at that moment. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what's going on in our government. And then we hear it's virtually silent. Everyone can talk about, how much of a crisis it is. And Democrats are now doing it because they're super worried about what's going to happen in the midterms. They have no choice. They have to, because if they don't come out hard against the border policies that are put into place, America is paying attention. That's why CNN, MSNBC, and all these people, they're not doing it. Fox News has had reporters, Bill Malugin, down at the border for months, covering it every day, flying up drones. Border Patrol tries to take down their drones. They sue them to be able to fly drones again. They're in with DPS, all that stuff. Yes, a CNN will cover the border crisis in terms of buses dropping people off. Not a single news outlet other than this guy wrote about the fact that the buses that were transporting the illegal migrants into Washington, D.C. were illegal in the first place. They've corrected that now. But nobody cares about the truth anymore. It's all political spin. Fox News isn't going to report on the fact that the buses are illegal because they are supportive of what Texas Governor Abbott is doing. Because how else do you deal with a border crisis? Put the people that are crossing the border instead of on Texas streets, send them all the way up to Washington, D.C. It's a great photo op, and that's all it is. Dropping them in D.C., it's just a photo op because you know what we're doing? Not us, Texas. You know what Texas is doing? Now they're providing free travel for migrants to come up. It doesn't solve an issue. And to be honest, it's not even getting the attention. I wouldn't be surprised if Governor Abbott pulls that plug if he hasn't already, because now all it's doing is costing him money. Mainstream media is not going to report it. Fox is barely covering it. Yeah, they sent a camera guy down there to get it. And they're like, look, Governor Abbott actually did send busfuls of migrants. Yep, 12 people were on this big 70-passenger charter bus, and they all got off and free right in Biden's back door. Like, yeehaw. That's how Fox News reported it. CNN didn't report it, I don't believe. And if they did, it was probably passing. I would be curious to see how much time, and maybe April can look into it. I don't know how to do it, but I know there is a way. How much time was devoted to talking about the Texas National Guard member that was killed when he was trying to save those alleged narcotic smugglers that were drowning in the Rio Grande? I wonder how much time. I know Fox News has spent a lot of time on it. Again, it furthers their political agenda, which is the right agenda in this regard, that we need tight border, restrictions and all that stuff, and immigration reform and all that. Wonder how much time CNN, MSNBC, NBC News actually spent talking about that. Talking about it. Yes, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they spent a fraction of an amount of time. We heard about it in the Senate hearings today. And we heard Democrat senators talk about it and then try to connect Donald Trump and saying that the reason why we have this crisis at the border is because Trump's policies ruined what we were doing at the border. We had a secure border. Not even 16 months ago, we had a secure border. What happened? Oh, I know. We have a new president. That president, whether or not you agree that he's the president, it doesn't matter. He's been confirmed. He is the president for now until he fades off into obscurity, which I can't imagine. I'm really surprised he even made it 15 months. I'll be honest with you. But then they're probably like, it's not going to happen. I don't know, man. Things are weird. The whole political climate right now is just, it's completely, utterly, and batshit crazy. There's no other way to talk about it. Because we sit every day and we, like, for someone that consumes the news, like I do, April does, like people that literally, and many of our viewers do. I mean, Karen's all the time. She probably reads every news article that comes out on Fox News and all these other channels because she shares so many of them. For people that consume the news, if you actually branch out, so this is an interesting social experiment for anyone. If you read a Fox News article, go on CNN, MSNBC, NBC News, any of the left-leaning news outlets, whatever. Daily Beast doesn't count. They're now rated as a fake news outlet by Newsbusters or whatever the hell it is. Not Newsbusters, another one, like an actual accredited news site. But they rate Daily Beast as shit. It's mind-boggling to me because a lot of the articles you'll see on Fox News, you won't even see a mention on CNN or NBC or New York Post or any of those. And then likewise, a lot of the articles that may be important or that may have some sort of, I don't know what, something that may be important that may be published on CNN. Probably not CNN. Something that may be important published on the New York Post, New York Times. I can't even think of any news outlet that actually, because the MSNBC, no, I don't even know. They are just a social justice, everything, anti-Trump, anti-conservative, anti-American news outlet. That's all MSNBC is. CNN is they're on that cusp of trying to, one day they're, this is sort of hard on Joe Biden, but then they're like, oh no, we may have lost the 5 out of 100 viewers that watch our show. So now we have to switch back, and the next day they're like, Biden's doing an amazing job, and all their guests are and I wonder, it would be interesting to see too if there was a way to track how many times CNN mentions Trump or commentators mention Trump in a 24-hour period. That would be interesting, and I don't know how you can do it. There must be some AI that records things like that, or we could set to actually record how many times CNN mentions Trump or Democrats when they hold a press conference, how many times they mention the prior administration, because that is still Trump. That's what Democrats were doing today. Prior administration, prior administration, prior administration, and almost pretending like, okay, what the crisis at the border, and we've heard Biden do it too. He's blaming everything on the prior administration. He blamed COVID on the prior administration. He blames everything on the prior administration instead of taking accountability for what they're doing. I suppose what pisses me off the most is nobody cares. Someone said that's sad when you can't even name a station that could inform you on any important issue. I know it is. It's sad. It truly is. It's sad. And I'm fading out because the sun is coming through this window. And so with all the lights and everything, I can't switch them. So you'll see every now and then as the sun is setting, my picture will fade in and out, but the voice is still there. So you're good. But one of the things that's, I forgot what I was talking about now because I saw that I was getting hazy here. It's just it's I almost find it offensive now, and I find and I was thinking about it today while I was listening to all these conservatives speak, and the Democrats are like, it's political theater, and I couldn't agree with them. Just on principle, I'm like, well, no, it's not political theater because it's actually true. But I'm thinking to myself, no, it kind of is. It kind of is. All these Republicans that were being really hard on Mayorkas today, they all have an obligation to do that every day, not just because you're in a congressional hearing. They have that obligation to go every day. Like, you are making a shit ton of money representing America and Americans. Seriously, that job should be never ending. You get 1 week of vacation a year, just like everybody else. That's what you get, and you're working 7 days a week. You know how hard I work just to do this every single day, from building websites to selling shit to packing orders to scraping walls and to painting and to building up and to painting trailers and do it all this shit that I do just to be able to do this and just do a show 1 hour a week or 1 hour a day. Imagine if I didn't have to do all this and I still got a paycheck and the only thing I had to do was do this. Man, it would be amazing. I need like a sugar person, Oh my gosh. It frustrates me, man. Because I was listening to the Democrats, I heard them talk about, white supremacy is the biggest threat that America faces, and Mayorkas even had the gall to say today when questioned by conservatives about that point, about how he said even a month ago that white supremacy or domestic violent extremism, specifically racial domestic violent extremism, is the biggest threat that Americans face, which is complete and utter bullshit right now. Anyway, I would challenge and say, well, guns in the hands of convicted felons would be a bigger threat, or opium addiction, or even veteran suicide. Look at who actually dies as a result of the failures of us as a country. It's typically not like the domestic violent extremisms and all the examples that they're giving. See how I'm like fading? That's trippy as shit, isn't it? It's because of this light, and I broke this, so I can't. Oh wait, I can. Never mind. I didn't think I could because I thought I broke it, but I didn't. It fixed. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy, man. We have a responsibility, right? Every single one of us, you, me, April, every single person watching this, we have a responsibility to require the people that are holding office, whether or not they're Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. This is where people think, well, you can't influence. And this is where Democrat leaders and Republican leaders need to just come together in that regard. Because say you have a Democrat senator and a Republican senator from a state, right? They're not representing the same people, even though they're supposed to. For example, we have two senators covering the state of Virginia, and both of them are Democrats. They don't represent, when they're in Washington, their constituents. They're not representing me. And based on my policies and based on my beliefs, no, they're representing a singular party. And that's the reason why politics, they need to switch. That's what they need. Something needs to happen where people wake up and say, hey, listen, it's not about party anymore. It's about saving this country from what we are becoming. Some people have it already in the mindset that we are there, that this is the end all be all, that this country is going to explode. The revolution is on the forefront. All government is bad government. kick in the door, start prepping, all that kind of shit. There are people that believe we're already there. And then there are people that just believe in flower power hour and that we all have to be hippies and smell like patchouli and just suck at life in general. I just don't know why politicians, and maybe it's the money, maybe it's a lobbyist behind them and all that stuff. I don't know why people don't know that they need to represent the interests of their state and not their individual political parties. And it's the same thing, for Republicans. Republicans only push, or they're only representing. And see, I don't even know, because even as I say that, I know it's complete and utter bullshit. I do. I do, because I realize that if, say, you have a conservative that votes on something that may be a little bit liberal, or they pass a bill, or they give their yay vote to pass a bill that may not fit the definition of everybody, and you can't appease everybody when you hold that office. But the job of running for office and the job of being that elected official it requires you to do that, or it requires you to hold town halls like Ben Klein again. And I'm going to call him out every single day on every single show, because again, I want him to come on the show. He could post on Twitter, oh, I had a meeting with the retail trade. Yeah, 4 people. We had a long correspondence. When's the last time this fucker did a town hall? I live in this area. I have a business in Woodstock, Virginia, and I bought a house in Strasburg, Virginia. Like, I am literally in 2 places, a business owner and a homeowner, and yet I haven't seen one notification for a town hall. They were just on a break for a week and a half. They were just on a break. He probably comes home every day. Yeah, like, you understand? Like, if I was in office, I'd be sitting outside a town hall every day being like, all right, you got questions? Let's talk. Because that's what an elected official is supposed to do. Because even if you disagree with them politically, they're supposed to still represent you. You know what I mean? And we just don't have that. We could sit and showboat in congressional hearings, and then you get your sound bites, you get your political clips, your campaign clips, like Jim Jordan. Great job today. And I'm not criticizing what he was saying, because what he was saying was true. I want that kind of pizzazz. I want that kind of vigor. I want that kind of anger and that emotion in every single time he gets up to give a speech. I don't want him to wait. I don't want him to sleep good at night. I don't want a single politician to sleep good at night. I want you to be tired every day. I want to see bags under your eyes. I want to see you talk with emotion and cry. I don't give a shit what you have to do, but I want to know that the politicians in Washington actually represent the people that sent them there, or we should get rid of them. Every single one of them. Just get rid of them. And to be honest, we can't do anything else until everyone is gone. And unfortunately, there are politicians in office that have the potential, that have kind of cut that norm, and they're the ones getting attacked like crazy. Madison Cawthorn in North Carolina, granted, he's a little fucking weird, okay? I'll be honest with you. The dude wears a dress. I have never once put on women's clothing when I got drunk or nothing. It's never fucking happened. I think it's a little odd. But he's getting attacked left and right. And he's not getting attacked just by that. He's getting attacked because he's breaking from the norm. He's changing. Well, I don't know what he's changing, but he's trying to. He's actually, and people are scared. And so he's getting attacked by other Republicans. He's getting attacked by Democrats. He's getting attacked by the far left, the far right, everybody, because of what he said, what he's doing, the things that he goes on weird podcasts. You got to say, like, he's doing what I said. He's going on other podcasts and talking about random shit. And those things are getting picked up. And then it all fades off. We don't hear about it anymore, like the sex orgies and cocaine and all that stuff. And I would love to know if that's true in Washington. As someone that hates drugs, man, I'm tempted to run just to find out about that, because damn well. And if I ever did run, anyone that's watching this that is in Washington, oh God, you fuck up in front of me, the world will know. Every single thing. I won't be beholden to anybody. And everybody should be like that. You're not going into Washington to join some elite club. No, that's not what it's supposed to be about. You're supposed to be going to Washington to help our country succeed. to help our, and then when you come home from Washington with all the massive amounts of days off that you have, you're still getting paid for those days off. It's not for you to go buy a yacht and sail around the ocean. It's not for you to go under the wire and go see Ukraine and all that shit. No, and that's the thing. There was what was it? I think it was conservatives or Democrats or a partisan committee that went over to Ukraine. Who cares? Who cares about what's going on in Ukraine? We have enough crisis here. If you're on a break from Congress, you should be doing town halls. You should be doing town halls every single day in your district, on every single day off. To me, it's mind-boggling that can you imagine if an actual political candidate said the shit I'm saying right now? Can you imagine? It would like make people's heads explode. It would make people's heads explode. They just don't. It just don't. Politicians need to, attack the truth, and they'll never have any trust. They'll never have my trust or my backing. They'll never have your trust. And yes, a lot of politicians will just get voted in because of the R next to their name or because of the D next to their name, not because of their politics, not because of what they believe in. And half the time what they believe in is complete and utter bullshit anyway. You know what I mean? I have beliefs, my own beliefs, that don't align with the conservative party. And the majority of my beliefs don't align with the Democrat party. You know what I mean? And imagine, like, say a less polished version of me, right? So no, say an imposter version, but someone with the same beliefs, because everybody does. Everybody has the same beliefs. Some are extremely religious in their policy making, and some are just not. Some toe the party line. And when Kevin McCarthy calls your office and said, "Steve, we need a no vote on this bill." Why? Why do we need a no vote? Well, how about you fucking explain it? How about you spend some of that lobbying money you get and take up me and my whole crew out to fucking dinner and tell me why I shouldn't be voting on this? Because that's what should happen, and not the whole taking out to dinner. But you know what I'm saying? That's what should happen. I don't think that happens in Washington. I think a lot of these junior congressmen and senators sit there and the big guys call and they're like, "Hey, so you're going to vote this way today. We need you. Can we count on you? Otherwise, you're not going to be part of our club." Fuck your club. And we need a lot of people in Washington because I saw someone in the chat that said, we're not part of their club and we never will be. Fuck their club. We need to create our own club, which is like a dive bar in Washington, in the safe part of the city, if there is one. Just a fucking dive bar. That's where I would be every night. I would just be like, okay, what is a bar? I'm going to hire security. I'm going to spend a huge portion, because if I ever ran for office and won, my biggest expenditure would be for security, especially for all the shit I'm saying, and how I would be. Oh, I'd have full-time security every single day. Damn well. But I'd have a bar. That's where I'd be every single day, in a bar, talking to people, and then meeting in public parks and talking to people, schools, everything. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I really don't. Every politician that runs for office should agree to term limits. 100%. Someone said, "You don't get it." I don't know what that means. What am I not getting? Steve, suggestion, write an article about what you're talking about as it relates to our elected officials and what their job is. They don't know. And to be honest, I don't have time to write. I don't have time to do anything. And that's what I'm going to talk about at the end of the show, because I don't have time anymore. I'm too busy doing all this other shit and adding this and adding that and adding this. And that's why my shows have sucked lately. My viewer counts are fucking way down because I can't pick a fucking time to do a show and stay. Now we bought a house that's 25 fucking minutes away. It's different, Someone said Madison Cawthorn. Steve said he wore a dress. He wore something. I don't give a fuck what he did, but he did. But someone said, "Steve, I'll buy a huge Patriot box when I get the money. You have to wear a dress first." Fuck off. Shit ain't happening. Someone said, "Steve, you should run for mayor." I'll be honest. If I run for office, it's not going to be for one of these local fucking things. No way. You're not going to be able to influence anything. Nothing I do on a small micro level would be able to influence that. Oh, I'm going to fix the potholes. You know what my fucking town, the big crisis in the town that I bought a house in? You know what the big crisis was there? Some trans dude was assaulted in his driveway, right? So he wanted a proclamation day where the city would I don't know, but commemorate a day as his name day every single year because he was assaulted in his own driveway. And it was or I don't even think he was assaulted. I think some hateful comments or something were written on the house that he lived in, which is completely and utterly wrong anyway, whether or not you agree with the lifestyle or not. That's still fucking vandalism. It's a crime. But that was the major conflict, like the Virginia, what was it? The Shenandoah chapter of the NAACP was in our city council meeting, last month or a couple of months ago, sitting there arguing about it. And I thought about it. There's a vacancy because one of the people hasn't announced it yet, but I could figure out by social media posts, he's going to run for a new redistricted position here for state office. And so the city council is going to be open. And I'm like, maybe I will do that. And then I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not, because if I was ever to run I don't know. Things have changed in my life. Buying the house and everything is changed because I bought our fucking house. So if I was to decide to run for office, and you damn well know, like, oh my gosh, maybe you don't. I don't know. It's just annoying. Chris Harris is saying, why isn't he playing on the main show? Well, maybe you should watch the show. Pizza and Tilly is live from 6 to 9 every single day, unless I cut in at 8. And it's sort of a contract. So I'm not cutting in his show on when I decide to do one early because I own the platform. Yeah, I could, but I want to respect this guy. He works hard to do his craft just like I do. So he's on the Citizen Stringer channel and I'm on the F and I'm Done channel on that. And then this show will replay at 9 o'clock after that. And I announced it like 17 times already. And the push notification that I sent out to all mobile devices had that as well. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see. So what else? Liberals' heads are still exploding because of Twitter. And Elon Musk purchasing Twitter. And frankly, I don't even care about it anymore. Everyone, like on the right, people are like, it's a win for conservatives. On the left, it's like, democracy is in peril. Like, they just keep going back and forth. And here's the thing. Does anyone ever just actually sit back and just be like, how did we get to this point? Where, okay, some super rich fucking guy, socialist guy, buys a platform because he believes in free speech and doesn't believe speech should get censored. And then I've seen conservatives, and albeit they're not famous conservatives or anybody, but semi well-known scumbag conservatives. And I say scumbag just because of who they are. But they're like, I'm not supporting Elon Musk because his policy on vaccines. He said the COVID vaccine was good. I can't support free speech or him buying that because he believed in the vaccine. Fuck you. You either believe in free speech or you don't. You can't say, well, because he once publicly talked good about a COVID vaccine that I'm not going to support him, buying Twitter because, well, even though I know he's buying Twitter to make free speech better. Like it doesn't make any sense. I don't know, dude. It's so annoying. It's so annoying, and everybody's like cheering it on. All these people are like, oh look, everyone, like the algorithms must have dropped. We're all getting viewers. Man, I am fucking awesome. You know how many new viewers or new followers I got on Twitter? 5. So no, they didn't fix an algorithm. We're still all shadow banned. It was just a bunch of new people that are coming on and all the bots and everybody because they're trying to get on before Elon Musk does buy it, if he is, and the whole he gets rid of all the bots. I don't know. I don't know. Someone said it's a smokescreen to cover Biden's Ministry of Truth. And that's another thing. So the Biden administration is now making a new department within the Homeland Security Department to battle. What was the definition? To either battle or to fight against disinformation. Do you understand that there is so much fucking disinformation? We have disinformation from all parties. Okay, we have it from Republicans. We have it from Democrats. We have it from liberals. We got it from world leaders. We've got it. Ukraine and Russia is a disinformation clusterfuck. Disinformation is never going to go away. So now the government is trying to set up something so they can put the official government seal on something and say, well, this is different disinformation. And I'll be honest with you, we should all be watching it. Them opening a Ministry of Truth, as people are calling it, their disinformation task force or whatever the fuck they're doing, that new department within the Homeland Security, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You know why? Because then it makes it easier to tell what's true. And you may be saying, what? What? Anything that they mark as disinformation is likely going to be true. It's not a bad thing. It makes it easier to sort and to figure out the truth. Look at the track record of what the government has said is false. Only wait a couple of months and then you find out it's true. You know what I mean? It's just Katie, Elon is not a socialist. I know he's not a socialist. But I don't know. It's just crazy. Someone said, watch out, Steve, trust no one. I don't trust anyone at all. Yeah, the people I trust I can hold in one hand. It's like 5 people. That's it in my life, completely, you know? And most of them are family. That's it, you know? It's just crazy. Did you know, too, you could secure your private information by going to aura.com/citizen? Yeah. They're one of our sponsors. I never mention them at all. If you use antivirus or you want, your identity to be protected and all that stuff, they actually contacted us and wanted us to sign up with them as an affiliate because they just like our show. They like what we stand for. And that's a company that everybody can get behind. Because if you watch my show and you're like, you know what? I like what he's saying. And, let's hook up a deal with them. Go to aura.com/citizen. If you do that, you get a free trial. You get everything. You get ID monitoring. You get bank account monitoring and all that stuff. April could tell you all about it because they do so much. You get an antivirus and you get a VPN, all for one low monthly cost. And I think it's cheaper than like ExpressVPN or all these other VPNs that all these big podcasts are selling. This one's even better than that, and it's all one unit, and they have a family plans and all that shit. Plus, if you use that code, that link that I gave you, the Citizen, aura.com/citizen, you also get, plus you get a free trial, plus you also get, I think it's up to 40% off your monthly subscription as well. So go do it. It's really good. I can't talk about how it benefits us, but obviously it does, so go check them out. Aura.com/citizen. You got to make sure you use that citizen thing because 1, you won't get the discount, and 2, I will not be able to track it. And, which means that, it doesn't help us. So make sure you use that link and do that. All right, what else? Oh, so this is what I was going to talk about. So I have a moral dilemma. It's not a moral dilemma. Actually, I have a dilemma. Okay. And I'm going to get down and dirty with you guys right now so you all understand what's going on in terms of finances and stuff with the company, because I'm at this place right now where we can either and I've been here and I've been struggling through it for a while. So do you know that this live stream that we carry every day that's on Citizen Stringer, that 24/7 live stream cost me about $3,000 a month to be able to do that? And just to have the small, granted, when we go live, there's a lot of viewers. But if we're not live and it's just playing movies, we don't have shit, 20, 30 people. So what I think I'm actually going to be doing, and it's going to be a multi-step process, is we're going to get rid of the 24/7 live stream. The feed will always stay up, so you'll be able to chat. It'll just have a placeholder that says next show is live at this time, and then it'll probably be better because I wish I could have music going or something, but I can't because then I'm still in the same thing. But that allows me to cut a huge amount of money from our monthly expenses. Part of the other one, I don't know if any of you guys have been paying attention with our CitizenStringer.tv apps. We've had some problems with them lately. They've been updating. I believe they just released a new update today on it's Aura, AURA. AURA.com/citizen. AURA.com/citizen. The other thing, with this Citizen Stringer thing, because here's the thing. A lot of people watch it. This is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about rebuilding the apps. So the mobile apps, instead of just being like it is now, it is just the shows and that's it. And so our viewership, granted they're good numbers, but it's not, how do I say this the right way? I don't know how you say it the right way. It's costing a shit ton of money. And yes, it's paying for itself, but it's not like productive, and it's costing you guys a lot of money. You know, I don't want to have $12 memberships every month. You know what I mean? I'd love to be able to do it cheaper, but unfortunately I can't because of the fees associated with the service. So what I'm thinking about doing, and I would love to hear your input, and you got to do it via email. Send an email to social@citizenstringer.com. What I'm thinking about doing is building another app. I've actually already been doing it. Building an app that'll integrate our video when the shows are live, and on-demand content will be there as well. An integrated chat that'll be like $4.99 a month, and that'll be the only fee. And you just won't be able to. You'll be able to watch the entire live on the apps and all that, but you just won't be able to chat unless you have that monthly membership. But it also integrates our news site too. So you'll be able to get news and push alerts with breaking news, and I could schedule the alerts so you'll know every time we go live. As soon as we go live, it'll send out an alert, tell you exactly where to go and all that stuff. Someone said I can't watch on the app or the web, even though I've deleted the app and cleared cache, says video error. Yeah, that's the latest one. So I don't know why it would do it on the web, because I've never heard of it doing it on the web, but that's the issue with the update. The latest update they gave, which apparently fixed the push notifications, but fucked up everything else with the app. So now we found out the actual procedure. So you have to delete the app, reinstall the app, log in, log out, then log back in, and boom, it's fixed. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And that's the problem with technology, is I don't understand it. So what I'm trying to do, and it has nothing, it really doesn't, it means we'll actually make less money by doing it this way, but it will free up a tremendous amount of time and resources, because we spend so much time with the streams. Like, I mean, you're not going to be able to see it because it's greened out, but this whole thing, this is our playlist, you know, the whole day. That's what it is. And so I sit here and I log in from my house, or I got to call Adam and ask him to do it. And then we have to monitor and make sure the switches work and all that. That software right there is $2,000 a month just for that software that runs in the cloud. Now, we tried to do it in a cheaper way. We bought a whole computer to be able to do it, and it's not doing it. And so we have to use this software. And it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? For the amount of time that we're spending in it, the amount of resources that we're spending, I could be making shows, I could be adding new content, I could be fucking running around with a microphone interviewing people instead of doing this. You know what I mean? So that's what I want your input. Okay. So everyone that's watching, that's what I want your input on. And the easiest way is to email it to me. What direction do you want me to go with this? All right. We're not covering protests or riots or any of that shit anymore. Part of me wants to do the news, but then the other part of me says, no, you can't do the news, because eventually you'll conform to this fucking narrative of news, and it will be out of our control, because we've already started doing that. We already started doing the regurgitated news, and we're trying to do the news broadcast and all that. I don't want to do that. I'd rather have Citizen Stringer be a place where we are writing true, like, investigative journalism about shit, maybe 4 or 5 articles a day, featured writers, opinion shit, commentary, but it's all news related. And then the shows are just fucking hammering it. And I want to be able to do segments. I want to be able to do 10-minute mini rants or short interviews with people. And I can't. The way we're doing it right now is I can't. So what I'm trying to find out is what you guys think I should do. So the only thing is, if I was to build an app that has, all the capabilities and everything that I talked about, we would likely cancel all of our television apps. The Roku, I can build out and have a new one out before you even know. It would just look different. But I could do that. Amazon, I could do it too, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult and take longer. And Android TV, Android TV would be a little hairy too, and Apple TV. Those ones would take a little bit longer because they're harder for me to actually do all the coding and shit. So I want your email. I want you to know, but someone said, well, if you don't see for a couple of days after Steve does what he's going to do, I love you. Oh, so some people on Citizen Stringer are like, what? I'm not saying it. Nothing. People don't understand. It's not like I can snap my fingers and have this done. I got to build a whole fucking app. It's going to take months. But what I'm saying is, like Sue Parker said, it took, oh my gosh. And that's the thing. I just hope you're listening. I want your input, because the direction we're going is like a direction that I don't really know if I want to go, if that makes sense, with the news side, because we're conforming too much to mainstream media's template. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do it. I found myself sitting down the other day and building out a news studio and queuing up, different, news bits and all this stuff. And that's not what I do. That's not me. It felt inauthentic. You know what I mean? I had a teleprompter up and I'm reading and I'm like, no, fuck this. If I wanted to do that, I would have stayed broadcasting when I worked for the company that does the news. I would have stayed a broadcaster there. I don't want to do it. I like this. But what I want to do is figure out what you guys want too, because you helped me build this whole thing. So if you tell me, no, Steve, you're the only source of news and you have to keep doing it this way, then I'll keep doing it this way. But my thing is, I think it would be better to associate the two sites, the Citizen Stringer News and Citizen Stringer TV, associate those together, get rid of the apps that aren't working, build new ones that actually work, and then just make it so it's more affordable across the board. Obviously, the people that are on the lifetime subscriptions and all that, none of that shit would change. The only thing that would change is the people that are on that monthly membership, your rates are going to be slapped. They're going to be dramatically cheaper, but nothing else changes in terms of any of the other memberships because, well, you're all annual or lifetime, and so it's the same thing, and you don't have to worry about any of that. And that's even if we do it. So no one start freaking out. I want your input. I want, what would you like to see me do? Do you want to see me run around and try to interview people? My entire schedule changes in about 2 months. As soon as school ends for these kids. My kids are done in about a month, but I have to wait another 2 weeks for my wife to be done. But my schedule is done. I am open for the rest of my life. There's no more like I got to pick them up and drop them off at school. They're going to my wife's school district next year. So I will be free to travel across the country. Like, for example, I guarantee at some point in the fall, if we still have this shit going on at the border, you're going to see me wearing fucking Spartan body armor running around on the border with a camera. Because I'm not going in the dead of fucking winter or dead of summer, though. Are you fucking nuts? I'm a 300-pound guy. But I want to be able to do that. I want to travel around and do interviews and do all that stuff. And my schedule is completely free. We have the RV. We have the cargo trailer. We're building all out. It's gonna be different. But I need your input, because if you guys all say no, Steve, we need you to do the news, nobody else is doing it, then that's the direction that we'll take. I'm at that crossroads right now where I'm just like, I don't know. I really don't know. We did the news for a little bit. Part of me just wants to get out and do stuff. You know what I mean? And I know it probably doesn't make that much sense, but I think it makes more sense to me. Someone said you need to go corporate with suit, tie, and no baseball cap. Fuck off, Jeff. Someone said go cheaper. Yeah. I mean, that also, that doesn't play a huge part in it. It just means, because here's the thing, because if I cut $4,000 a month between this software, the streaming shit that I pay, that's $2,500, and this, which is $2,000, if I cut $4,500 a month, I can hire an editor, I can hire part-time writers, I could do a lot more and get a lot more content, because then I've saved the company $4,500 a month, and there's just so much. Someone said, do both. You've been ranting. Go do some live stuff. I want to do everything. Someone said, go cheaper so you can do yourself. So you could be yourself. Do yourself. What? But yeah, someone said, with midterms coming, there should be an abundance of opportunities to go live on locations. Yeah. And that's the thing, because we're cutting with LiveU and we're trying out TVU network. And so we're trying to figure out the best way. The real news is when migrants are dying in the desert, someone else said. But someone said mixer, and studio crew for sure. But Steve, go ask people in the streets what they think. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's one of the reasons why I was thinking about going to the Trump rally next week. Granted, we wouldn't be live streaming or any of that. It would just be interesting to go around and just talk to people. You know what I mean? I don't know, because I say that, but then I'd probably get really pissed off. Someone said you need SEO on your site for one. Yeah. Dem Lady said I would like longer shows, Steve. Yeah, I mean, everyone would. Unfortunately, that's part of the issue. If I'm doing all this shit all day long, I can't do it. Can't do it. So I don't know. Like, just email me. Don't type it in the chat. Just email me. Like, if and I'll recognize your name. Tell me your username too. Like, the people that watch. Someone said, plus Steve, you don't trust anyone. What? Someone said, Steve, so what are you going to do with the resources you free up? Didn't I just explain that? Are you not listening? It would be to hire, for one, a video editor, because as much as I would love to do it, I can't. I would like to take like the mini rants that I do during the show, like the segments or the rants. Like people were asking me to do the J6, like make a video about who benefited from J6 because I had that whole rant the other day. And people are like, you need to do it. You need to do that. And I'm like, I can't with what fucking time, because then what a lot of people don't realize is it takes probably for every hour that I do and I talk, and most of the influencers and social media people know this, for every hour that I talk to you guys, it takes me about 2.5, 3 hours worth of research and knowledge to get, and I'm not even as good as some of the other people that do it. You got, these brainiacs like Elijah Schaefer, who had that debate last night with Destiny or whoever that douche canoe was. Elijah Schaefer was like an encyclopedia. I don't even know where he found, because he runs multiple shows and all that stuff. I don't know where, and I know where it is because he's not doing all this other shit. You know what I mean? He's just doing his show. That's his job. He's got Blaze TV throwing big money out, And then that's that. Someone said we all benefited from J6. What the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, Jersey Shore is calling your name this summer. Yeah, we will be up there for 1 week. But 1 week, we go every year. Someone said, I'm living all year for what you spend for 2 months of computer service. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Do a show at Steve O. What grinds my yeets and has been doing decent on Tuesday nights. Really? What grinds my yeets? I didn't know that. I should check your YouTube. ED. Someone said, my company does SEO for many clients with great success. Yeah, I mean, that's something we struggled with on our Citizen Stringer news site, but it's different. Because again, we don't want to do clickbait articles or SEO like fucking articles, because we want truth. You know what I mean? We want to be honest. And I think a lot of these places where they're doing all the clickbaity articles, they're all, or the SEO articles, they're all just there for the ad revenue. We don't need to make, well, I shouldn't say that. And part of the issue is no, I'm not saying that. The company makes money. All right. So it's not a money issue at all. It's more of just like, what direction do I want to go? And it's not just me, because you guys are the ones that helped me build this. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm asking you. But someone said SEO. Yeah, I'm not talking about SEO shit right now. It's too much. I'm glad we have a lot of SEO experts in the chat. I know nothing about it. I just write articles. That's it. Someone said, it sounds like you're getting too many irons in the fire. No, it's not. Am I busy? Yeah. And I'm only going to get busier in the next couple of weeks. We got to start going out and promoting this free coffee shop we're opening up. And because it's going to sell itself once we start doing it. And I already know that, because anyone we've approached is signed up already. So I already know that, but I need to hire other people, so I'm not the one doing it. And I'm certainly not standing out there talking to people as they come in and get coffee. Fuck that, but that's easy. I can, do that pretty cheap, and provide jobs and stuff. So someone said, it sounds like you need to be 3 people. Yeah, it is. Martini is all pissed off that I talked about clickbait. I hear that. Is anyone submitting videos? Nope. If you're talking about my videos, no. If you're talking about other videos, no. And yeah, we've been looking for a lot of stuff, but that's it. News is going to come to everyone hard and fast the closer we get to November. It is. If only it's a truthful news. You know what I mean? Steve, do you hear the church people? No, there were people, because when I look at the front of the store, which I could see from here, so I could look out the front window, and every now people like staring, because they're like, what the hell is this store? It's going to be weird too, because the next couple of days, it's going to be different. As soon as I get these signs, because I'm putting signs in the front of the store, it's like, do you want free coffee? Like really clickbaity signs that are going to get people to go and look on the website. So it's going to be interesting. Chris Christensen is in the chat. Shout out to that guy. He's running for Senate. I said I brought you up earlier in the show, but I'm going to try to have you on next week too. I haven't seen any other creepy families by the dumpster either. So that's good. Someone said, yep, the chat is a priority. Yeah, there'll always be a chat. And I'll be honest, I am heavily leaning towards getting rid of the 24/7 live stream because, for one, not a lot of people use it. It's more people in the chat. I know because I could tell by the video. So I could tell when people are having a conversation, but the video is frozen because I could see it on my side when it is frozen. And then it'll be frozen. I check and it's like, oh, yeah, the video has been frozen for 3 hours and we'll still have 40 people on there just chatting it up, talking about recipes and shit. So we'll always have a chat. But, you know, whatever we do. But that's it. That's the latter part of what I wanted to talk about today in SEEP. And I want you guys to email. So if you have any suggestions on what you want to, if you have any suggestions on a direction, you know, let me know. But I'm heavily leaning towards, you know, traveling and doing that kind of shit. I mean, I wanted to jump in my RV and travel for the entire summer. My wife has vetoed that idea. I can fucking do it. Now the kids are going to her school. Not that I'm going to go for months or weeks even, because I can't. I get homesick after a couple of days. But, you know, I could jump in my truck and do the shit I wanted to, where I drive on the back roads and go to small restaurants and just interview Americans and people. And I still plan on doing that. You know, as soon as these kids are done, I'm going to be doing a lot of that stuff. And that stuff likely won't be live. It'll be recorded and put out. Because I think it's important. It's important to hear people and do all that stuff. But yeah. Someone said big man on the street reporting. Yeah, I don't know. But see, and that's the thing too, is you have to have another camera guy there to do it right. I guess you could do like the third person ones. I don't like walking around with a camera either. It's weird. I'm very weird about doing all this. And then I need to find a good gym. You know, that's it. I'm too judgmental at our gyms. I hate it. Someone said, how am I financing giving away free coffee? Just curious. Donations? No, I can't tell you. Can't tell you. Not yet. You'll figure it out eventually. But I got to go back to the dentist, dude. This fucking tooth is gapping on me. Someone said, well, you hear from both sides, Steve. Yeah, because it's not conservatism and people. I want to talk to Americans. I don't give a fuck about political ideology. That's what I want to do. But yes, email social@citizenstringer.com with any of your invites, any places where you think I should go this summer. You know, we're kind of on a limited because we are taking a family vacation up to like the Portland, Maine area to see some of our old friends in New Hampshire. And then we're going down to Jersey for a week, or not a week if I can deal with it. And then we'll figure it out from there. And then I'm going to open this store on August 1st is the new date to do it, because I needed to make sure I have enough time. And then any Trump rallies, as soon as my kid's school is done, like these Fridays really fucked it up because I can't go, because to be a vendor at these events, you need to get there the day before in order to get set up and drop your trailer and all that. I can't do that because that's 2 days essentially I have to take off. Saturdays were okay, but yeah. Someone said it's free to get them in the door. Nope. You'll never know. It's pretty amazing. But we go to the Jersey Shore every year. People, what you hear from people interviewing people across the country is they have no idea. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we'll figure out. Anyway, but that's that. Yeah, and any changes that we do, we're months away from, you know, in terms of the only thing that I can cut right away is the streaming, and that the 24/7 streaming, and that, I'll be honest, I'm about 90% to get rid of those, because then I could still randomly, I could play videos on the weekends, or I could do other stuff, but we have bandwidth costs that are fucking killing me, you know. So like with this software, they're kind of included. That's why it's so damn expensive. The other way we were doing it before we started using the auto switching software, the bandwidth costs were, you know, a shit ton of money to be able to do it. And I could alleviate that and do some on the weekends and play like oldies or something at certain times. But I have to figure out that aspect. But I'll be honest, 90% sure the 24/7 streams are probably going to shit the bed pretty soon. So, which will be better anyway, because then people will know what's a rerun or not, because people always complained about that. And I don't blame you. But they did. Someone said beer guy in chat. BG was in earlier. I don't know who that is. Beer guy? Who's beer guy? Anyway. But I could tell all the people that wanted to listen to the news, they're gone already. Someone said I'm at the Jersey Shore. Yeah, we go. I don't remember. Beach Haven Crest, something like that. Beach Haven, something like that. We've been going now since I met my wife, so 16 years ago, every summer. All right. I think that's it. I appreciate all you guys for watching, and I'll be live tomorrow night. We're going to have the Trump coverage. I'll be live during the day, probably, but definitely tomorrow night we'll have Donald Trump's speech. I'll kind of do it similar to this. We're not going to cut in until Donald Trump actually starts speaking on Citizen Stringer, because Pete Santilli is live from 8 until 9. But once Donald Trump does start speaking, we'll cut in to his show. And we'll run it everywhere. Someone said you like Oregon. It's a long drive. I was in Oregon before it turned to shit years ago. But yeah, Chris, you also got to email me my new email, bud. You emailed the old one, so I barely see it. The social at citizenstringer.com, or my first and last name at citizenstringer.com. Someone said more shirt ads. Yeah, I don't do it enough, because here's the thing. I can't print all the fucking shirts because I'm too busy dealing with the computer shit. So I just need to. That's what these are for the new Patriot boxes. These are the custom designs that I got, so I can print all the new Patriot box shirts. And I'm just waiting on the pint glasses. When those fuckers come, those boxes are going to go out. Because this weekend I'm going to print all those shirts, and then I'm also going to print the shirts for the last bits of those big boxes, because we have a new Patriot box. For anyone that doesn't know, if you're just tuning in newsflash, we have a new one. Go to politicallyincorrectstore.com. Up at the top you'll see Patriot or Patriot box, whatever it is. Click on that. It's $45. It gets you a t-shirt and a different drinkware, a custom t-shirt you can't buy anywhere else, and a custom like drinking glass. So like this week it's pint glasses, or this month is pint glasses. Next month it may be something else, and we switch on the month. So for example, like if you ordered one now, if you order one in like 2 days, it's going to be the next one. Does that make sense? So like all of the boxes that I have, all of the designs, they're all going out for the people that place the order. And a lot of you guys are on subscribe and save already, so I saw it's just going to renew, which is great. But someone said, seriously, are you overwhelmed by the growth of your business? Yeah. To be honest. Because if it was up, because I fucked up. And I'll be honest, because now we've had such tremendous growth, and we're still growing, and there's so much opportunity, and I just want to relax. And I would have been able to do that. But, we opened things up, the coffee, and to be honest, I still could, but, I have some investors and stuff like that. And, I have to make sure that it's profitable for them. You know what I mean? So we got to keep making money and keep making more money, What I would like to do is, I would like to just go back to basics. Remember when I just sat here every night and just had fun? You know what I mean? And just said what I wanted to say, showed the protests, showed stupid videos, even when I played video games, like that kind of shit. I miss doing that. I don't mind printing the shirts. I still think it's fucking awesome to, when I print a shirt and to have my design, like I printed this fucking shirt. It's fucking dope. You know what I mean? To me, that's fucking rad. I really enjoy that. I like, designing hats and all the same stuff. I wish. Yeah. We took investors. So now, but my focus changed from having fun to making money. If that makes sense. So it sucks, but now my goal is to make more money every month instead of just being happy with what I made. But it is what it is. But that's what I'm going to go back to is doing that and just finding a way. Like the coffee shop. I mean, this fucking idea, like if I tell you guys, like if I said I'm taking investors and this is how I'm doing it, you guys would be like, here's my money. Because it's fucking genius, It's fucking genius. And I'm not just saying that because of me. I'm saying that because of everybody. Everybody I've talked to is like, what the fuck? How do you come up with this shit, Steve? I don't know. But yeah, someone said gotta pay the bills. Oh yeah, we are paying the bills. Matt said, let's go back to playing video games. I'll be honest, dude. Yesterday, I almost fucking came in. I was in here last night because I was like, I'll do a fucking show. And then I drove all the way back to the office last night. And I sat down and I started listening to Pete Santilli. And I'm like, I can't do a show. And I'm like, let me play video games. And I turned on the computer and I was like, fuck, I'll play some video games. I'll just go live to Twitch. And then I realized that the monitor that I need to play the games is up here. And this is the main computer. I'm like, this doesn't work. I was so pissed off. But someone said, oh, okay, disregard the email I sent. Oh, jeez. Did I already get shit emails? Should we make this a different type of show? So, I just read all the emails. I'm sure I got hate mail already. But yeah. I don't know. I just read one email and it's too technical, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But yeah. Yeah, I'll read some. I do have a ton of emails, which is awesome. But yeah. Someone wheel Tifa, mini Tifa. Yeah. I don't want riots. I'll tell you what. I'll be honest. If all the riots came back and shit, I wouldn't do it. I would probably create a fucking riot vehicle, no joke, with cameras on the outside and drive to those fucking places because I can't put myself through sitting and watching all those riots again. And if they haven't happened already, they're not going to. You know, in that regard, which is great because I don't want that. They sucked. But we had some good times with those though, didn't we? It was fucking stupid. But yeah, but I'll be figuring out. I like doing the rants. I like doing shows like this where I know what I want to talk about, so I talk about it and then I just kind of relax. Do you know what I mean? That's what I like doing. I don't like the formulated. So like in our reality, what I could do is just several shows. Like I could have a day where I play video games. I could have a day where I do this. I could have a talk show. And then you guys just know, as long as I keep it uniform, you know what nights there's, so if I'm playing video games and all the people don't want to see that, even though I'm still going to talk about politics or do it, or like a day where I'm just on TikTok. I like doing TikTok till I don't like it. Anyone who watched the TikTok live the other day, I did one for like an hour or two. I like that. Until I didn't like it. And everyone saw when I didn't like it because I was like, fuck all y'all, but it is what it is. The rioters won't be called out until Trump gets back in, someone said. Yeah. Would Steve make a Trump peeing on Biden shirt? No, probably not. Someone said, dude, we make stars and ad plays on our video game stream channel page. No politics, just fun. Wouldn't have it any other way. Having a blast. Matt, you should send me your Facebook page. I know you already have. But Matt, aren't you the freight broker? Aren't you the freight guy? Your name sounds fucking familiar. And I know you've been here forever. I just don't know if you're the guy in the freight industry. Someone said you missed the run music. You picked the that one? Yeah, that's good too. But yeah. All right, what else? I'm just interacting with the chat just for a second. Steve, don't discount running for local office. Good way to make you want to run for. I don't want to run for office. I have no aspirations to run for office. I don't. That would be a necessity. That would be because I hit the you know what I mean? That would because we're coming to the end. If Steve decides that he's running for office, yes, I'm speaking to third music, or third person. Yeah, that's how you know the country's fucked. But someone said me and my buddy are trying to start a Too Drunk for Republican podcast. That would be good. Let me know if you do it. I'll help you host it and all that stuff. Because that's what I want to do. That's what Citizen Stringer was supposed to be. You No, it's supposed to be just a place where people would go on and write about news, write about politics, whatever, about them. People that, we could host, different podcasts and handle all the distribution and all that stuff of it, just different than what it is now. That's what I wish. But it is what it is. Someone said, Steve, can you show your shirt? Yeah. The one in our store, this actual shirt is on the Pure Truth Coffee website, and you'll see it's got I actually changed the design after and put the Pure Truth Coffee logo in the actual cap. That's pretty cool. But yeah, someone said, "Where's Adam?" Everyone always asks. Adam is doing his own shit. I'm not gonna talk his business. I still talk to him virtually every day. He's just got his own shit going on. So that's his stuff. He'll come back eventually. He's just dealing with his own shit. So yeah, just don't ask, because normally I try to just ignore the comments, but he's my friend. So I'm not broadcasting his biz nasty on here. All right, fuck it. I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be live at some point. This show may repeat at 9:00. I have no idea, because I already have a playlist and now I have to redo the whole fucking playlist. But this show will be on demand in about 5 minutes on Citizen Stringer and everywhere on social media too. All right, guys. I appreciate all you guys. We'll see you later. Bye. That's how you sing it in high pitched. Bye.